guitar enthusiasts of every stripe and description. It's me once again, Steve, the OG Guitar Nut, and welcome to episode 29 of Guitar Nuts Anonymous, aka Attack of the Trolls. So, I'll explain exactly what that subtitle is all about here shortly. But first, let's get right into the world of guitar news. We're going to start right out of the box with a sad story, honestly. None other than Robbie Robertson, the guitar player, primary songwriter, and one of several vocalists for the band. The band. Passed away this week, at the age of 80. Let's face it, 80 is not a bad age to, he lived a hell of a life. And those who aren't in the know, the band was originally the backing group for Bob Dylan. Went on to have, several very influential albums and songs of their own. They might best be known for the song "The Weight," but also "The Night They Drove Old Dixie Down," and "Up on Cripple Creek." They had tons of them, of course. But we lost Robbie Robertson, so that's sad. But we've still got the music, and that's the way he'd want it, I'm sure. So, fortunately, that's the only bit of sad news we have this week. So I guess we'll count our blessings as they were. On to some good news, channel news. When last you heard from me 8 days ago, I said we were approaching the 500 subscriber mark. A bit of a threshold for us. Is it a big deal? Well, it's a big deal to me. I think it's cool. It's a milestone. Well, I just checked and we're approaching 560 subs. We went up well over 60 subscribers in a week. And a whole lot of that clearly comes down to the fact that YouTube viewers are really interested in counterfeit Gibson guitars, aka Gibsons, because the latest Gibson videos pushed us way over the top. We're also well past 10,000 views now, of which over 6,000 are just from those two Gibson videos. So that's pretty cool. Like I said, it's a milestone. So congratulations to us. Now, as promised, I'm going to give something away. Our first ever giveaway. I'd said that when we hit that 500 subscriber threshold mark, I'd give something away. I'm a man of my word. And by the way, I'm also going to give something away when we hit 1,000. And spoiler alert, it'll be a guitar. I'm not telling you which guitar, partially because I haven't necessarily decided. I think I know which one, but regardless, it'll be free and very playable. But as far as this giveaway, what I have here is not one, not two, not even close, but 3 brand new Behringer guitar pedals. And no, I'm not giving them all away to somebody, but I am giving one away. And it's going to be the winner's choice. We have the UO300 Ultra Octaver, which it's basically a knockoff of the Boss Octaver. Great working pedal. We have the SF300 Super Fuzz, which is apparently a knockoff of the Boss, whatever their fuzz is that's so popular. Fun fact, I'm told, if I can believe Josh Scott for the JHS show channel, this is supposed to be the best-selling pedal of all time at Sweetwater. So, must be something good about it, right? And my favorite, the EQ700, which is, of course, a knockoff of the famous Boss EQ7. This, to me, is, if you don't have one of these, now I don't mean necessarily the Behringer, but an EQ pedal, a graphic EQ pedal, if you don't have one, you need one. These things are so useful in so many ways, whether it's tailoring a sound, getting rid of an annoying frequency, solo boost. There's so many things you can do with one of these. They're super versatile. So those are the 3 pedals, and one lucky winner is going to get to choose one, and I'm going to ship it to them anywhere in the world, which could mean the shipping will wind up costing more than the pedal, but it is what it is, and I'm committed, so, or at least I should be committed, right? Yeah, so here's what you got to do. You have to be a subscriber, and you have to tell me in a comment below which of these 3 pedals you would choose. That's it. There's nothing else to do. Do you want the graphic EQ, the Super Fuzz, or the Ultra Octave? So all you got to do is let me know, and somebody's going to get picked, and it's going to be at random, and I'm going to use the little randomizer tchotchke thing that I found online, and yeah, somebody will be a proud winner of a free pedal. So cool for you. And as I mentioned, when we hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to give away a guitar. And no doubt I will probably do something similar, but on a much grander scale, if and when we ever get to 10,000. You know, I mean, it's hard to imagine it happening, but honestly, it's hard to imagine us being at 500 plus at this point, because there was a time when there were 5. So there's that. Speaking of commenting below, this is the time when I have to do a little housekeeping, of course. If you're not already subscribed, do subscribe, because you can't win a pedal if you don't, for one thing, but also just because you want to be a part of this community and you want to be notified of you know, any new episodes as they come. So subscribe, click the notification bell, and you'll be notified. Comment, and not just comment about the pedal, comment about anything you want below. You got ideas for the show, whatever else, just, you know, comment. Feel free to share any of these videos to any of your other social media. Tell friends, tell enemies. Go tell it on the mountain, as I've been known to say. And yeah, just thanks for being a part of things here. So onward to some gear news. There wasn't a whole lot of interesting gear news, to be honest, this week. But there were a couple of items that I thought were interesting, both of which are signature products for an artist. First up, very interesting to me, is Friedman Amplifier Company has released a Jake E. Lee 20-watt head. It's all tube, of course. It has 2 channels, which is like a classic gain and a high gain. I guess the classic gain is supposed to sound like an old Marshall, and the high gain is supposed to sound like an 80s style Marshall JCM 800 that's been modded, hot rodded, whatever. I watched a couple of videos. Thing sounds phenomenal. The head is like $17.99, so it's not cheap, but it's also not, it's not up there in the ridiculous boutique range, you know. I mean, it's attainable to a lot of people, let's say. And I'm especially interested in it because I'm a huge fan of Jake E. Lee. Not that in this lifetime I could ever play like him, nor did I ever really aspire to. My bag was writing songs more than trying to shred. But if I'm going to listen to shred, Jake's going to be one of my go-to guys, because I just love his style. I love watching him play. I love hearing him. He's entertaining, which is something you can't say for all shred guitar players. So yeah, the Friedman Jake E. Lee 20-watt head. Sounds great. If I had one, I'd probably never go past the classic gain channel, because I don't need high gain. But great amp. The other thing is Electro-Harmonix released a new flanger pedal called the Walking on the Moon Andy Summers Signature flanger. Not to be redundant. Andy Summers, of course, of The Police, is very famous for his extensive use of the original Electro-Harmonix Electric Mistress flanger. This is a somewhat simplified version of that, scaled down and with a few less bells and whistles. I watched a couple of other videos on it and given it a listen, and yeah, it's a great sounding little pedal. Not terribly expensive. I don't remember what the price was now that I'm thinking about it. Was it $129? It was relatively inexpensive. I'll try to remember to put the price right here. I'll try to look it up, and if I forget, well, you know, it's me. You're used to this sort of thing. All right, so onward to some news about me personally. This week, August 10th specifically, marked the 36th anniversary of the purchase of my first brand new guitar, my 1985 Gibson Explorer. That's right, it was in 1985 that I purchased brand new in 1987. I purchased it from Rubino's Music in Portage, Indiana. I put it on layaway in September of 2020, right, in September of 1986, and finally paid it off August 10th of 1987. It was a whopping $375. Now, you've seen me show it before, and I'm not going to dig it out because it's back there buried behind some other things at the moment, but I'll show you a couple of photos here of it and me with it over the years. For some reason, I just feel compelled to share the anniversary every year on Facebook and whatnot because it was a big deal to me, you know. Speaking of big deals to me, as you're all well aware now, I'm having IYV Indian Vina out of Vietnam build me a custom SUPARIC. And last time I shared the mechanical drawing, sort of a blueprint that they'd sent me. This time I want to show you the first photos of the guitar in progress. So I'll post those around somewhere here. I got a couple pictures of the body and of the neck. Looks like it's coming along nicely. I'm excited. So hopefully by the next time I come out with an episode, like episode 30 for instance, it'll be, you know, I'll be able to show you the final guitar. So that'll be cool. Speaking of things I intend to show you soon, in the last episode I'd mentioned that Fender had teamed up with Loog Guitar Company, the guys that make the little tiny 3-string instruments for kids, to make a little tiny 3-string instrument for kids that has Fender on the headstock. And I'm really intrigued by the whole concept. I came up with a 4-string guitar for kids called the Mongoose many years back, and I've talked about it before. The project never got off the ground apart from me having a handful of prototypes and writing the literature that was going to be the tutorial book. But this is kind of a simplified version of that. And bottom line, I ordered one directly from Fender. None of the dealers have them, but Fender had them available, or at least they had the Strat version. There's a Strat version and a Tele version, and I opted for the Strat version. That'll be here in a couple of days. It's Saturday as I'm recording this, which would be the 12th. Is that right? I believe it's the 12th. It's supposed to be here Monday. So I'll be doing a review of that. I'll unbox it and review it. I assume it won't need a whole lot of setup. There's not a whole lot to it. And maybe on Monday, depending on what I work, maybe I can get around to reviewing that for you. If not, then sometime soon thereafter. But I'm real interested to see, just exactly what you get for your $199. And so stick with me for that. Now, speaking of things you can get for in excess of $100, there's something that's been on my bucket list literally since before I started playing guitar. And of all things, it's a strap. Those who know me at all know that I am, and certainly was, an enormous Beatles head, especially as a kid. To a fault, it was ridiculous. And I was always fascinated by pictures of John Lennon with his little Rickenbacker 325 and this wicked heavy metal looking guitar strap that he had attached to it, which totally seemed out of character for the early 60s. But I'd later find out was the Vox V822, if I have the model number correctly, armored python guitar strap. Always wanted one. But originals literally sell for in excess of $500 on Reverb. Sometimes much more if they're in great shape or have the original packaging. Because there are plenty of Beatle heads out there, including a lot of people that are boomers and have plenty of money to throw around if they want to. Well, Vox reissued it, I don't know, it's been around for a decade or more now again, but I wanted one, but could never justify the price tags. when they first came out, I think they were up to like $199, and nowadays they seem to go for right around $149. Still entirely too much money for a guitar strap, for me at least. Maybe for you, whatever. I think the most expensive guitar strap I have is a $40 strap. I didn't pay for it. I won it in one of those Premier Guitar Christmas stocking giveaway things. Well, you'll hear more about those when it gets closer to Thanksgiving, because I'll be going over that whole thing with you. But regardless, I don't pay a lot of money for guitar straps. I have lots of them because people seem to get them for me as gifts because it's an easy thing to give to someone you know is a guitar player. But long story short, one of these guitar straps, this Armored Python Vox strap, showed up on Reverb at an extremely attractive price, considerably less than $100. And I made an offer thinking they would, come back and bump me and maybe we could meet somewhere in the middle. Instead, they accepted my offer with free shipping. And so now, on my beloved #1 chicken backer, I have the Vox Armored Python guitar strap. Spikes, scales, pretty psyched about it. And it weighs literally as much as a guitar does. How much utilitarian value that has, I don't know, but I think it's cool. Just had to share that with you because that's what I'm here for, is to share, right? Other thing to share with, and this is not nearly as exciting, but it's good for the sake of the show. A lot of people have made mention of the fact in the past that I haven't been able to give weights for guitars that I review on the show. And I wanted to do something about that. So I actually went on Amazon and I ordered a fish weighing scale so I can hang guitars from it as though they were fish and give you accurate readings. It's digital, so it's supposed to be extremely accurate. It was relatively cheap. I mean, it was, if I'm honest, it was like $11. Hopefully it's not one of those get what you pay for situations, but I'm going to calibrate it and test it. And so that'll be kind of cool. I'll be able to, weigh guitars for you. Now, I'd mentioned that we're going to have a new segment called The Workbench, and I haven't gotten to it this week because I've been driving a lot of international soccer players. There's apparently a soccer tournament going on, playoffs, whatever, and I'm doing a lot of driving, so I've been busy. But I am indeed going to be installing a B-bender on a little Squier Telecaster / Esquire that I have downstairs. And I've already worked out how I'm going to mount the camera, my phone, to a tripod so that I can get you a good angle of me working. So that's kind of cool. And several people have said they're really interested in seeing me work on guitars on the show, so I'm going to do exactly that. So that's all that I have listed here for the news and things that I wanted to share. Now we're going to go on to talk about the how we wound up with 10,300 plus views and 560 subscribers. And a whole lot of it came down to my review of this Chibson that a very generous benefactor, friend of the show, had sent to me a couple of weeks back here. And I first did an unboxing video. I'm sure most of you watching this probably watched that. And then I did a review video. And boy, for the first time ever, here's where the attack of the trolls comes in. Boy, did I get some hate mail. Not that I wasn't expecting it. And if anything, I'm a bit tickled because from my point of view, when you finally start getting negative feedback, that means you've made it. Somebody's paying attention. So, yay me. Might as well grab the thing since we're talking about it. Here's the guitar in question. It's a fake Les Paul custom. So, I reviewed the guitar and gave it a very favorable review, which I stand by, because I've just got to be honest. This is a really good guitar. How good? Well, I've played it every day for the last 2 weeks, and I certainly have options if I want to play a guitar. Plays great, stays in tune, feels good, sounds good. Doesn't sound great, but it sounds plenty good. In fact, I A-B'd it with my 2008 Epiphone Les Paul Custom, which I would show you right now, but I actually sold it this morning and kept this. They sounded identical, literally identical. It just sounds like any not boutique pickup installed 2-humbucker solid body guitar. But we got a whole lot of messages. We got comments, and I got emails. Oh, by the way, since I'm mentioning it, email rickenbackeranonymous@gmail.com is still the working email. Anything you have to say, you want to share pictures, anything else, I really am into the idea of having this show and tell segment in the future where I can show off your guitars or things, or pictures of you, your dogs, whatever. Send me some pictures so we can share, and you'll have them on here. But tangent. So I got lots and lots of messages, and they were definitely not all positive. But they didn't all rub me to the point where they flat out pissed me off. One did. And, well, my good friend Bal, hope you're watching, Bal, told me a long time ago, back when we only had 200 subscribers or something, he said, you don't have to respond to every message that's posted. Try to keep things positive and on the up and up, and it'll pay dividends. I'm paraphrasing, but basically, Bal's a wise man. And I agree. So I am going to keep negativity off of the show as much as possible. Having said that, I would like to anonymously call out a couple of commenters. Anonymously, because I'm not going to call anybody to the floor, even if it is just their screen name. I'm just not going to do it. But I will share some of their comments. So, first off, $200 for a painted turd. It's a great guitar. I think I know what I'm talking about. I'm going to be using this on my next gig. No apologies. Here's another one. If it's not the real deal Gibson or Epiphone, I don't want it. I didn't ask. So, good for you. Someone else said, if you want a guitar with a Gibson on the headstock, just buy a real Gibson. If you don't care about it being a Gibson, then buy any number of affordable Chinese-made guitars, but counterfeiting is bad for many reasons, blah, blah, blah. Gibson for 100 years and their reputation and their value. I've heard it all before, whatever. I agree. I would like this guitar better if it didn't say Gibson on the headstock, but I didn't pick it. And the guitar that I did pick, it's a Gibson. I don't know if I've shared this before, but here was it was supposed to be my Jeff Beck replica, although it didn't come out very Jeff Beck looking, although I do very much enjoy the guitar. You can see this. Let me get this up to the screen here. That is indeed a label at the top that says, better than a Gibson. It's tongue-in-cheek, of course. Is it better? Who can decide? Who can say, what is better? Do I like it more than the Gibson that I almost bought last holiday season? Damn right I do. That Gibson was trash, and it was $17.99. And I'm so glad that I didn't just order one. Now, not that I necessarily would have gotten one that was as bad as the one I tried at my local guitar center had I ordered it online, but I'd have been really disappointed had a guitar like that showed up here, having laid down my hard-earned money. So anyway, yeah, I get it. And if that's your thing, that you desperately feel the need to, you know, trash Gibsons. You know, I don't. Is it your own pride because you spent a whole bunch of money on one? Maybe. Is it some nationalist thing? I'm sorry, patriotism? Whatever. It is what it is. But you can say what you like, and that's fine. We do have freedom of speech. But there was one particular commenter who's going to get the new EABAD award. I'm not going to tell you what EABAD stands for. You'll figure it out. But here's the deal. You can insult me day and night. I don't give a rat's ass. But don't insult my family, which this person didn't, but just putting it out there. And don't insult other viewers of the channel. Don't insult my subscribers, people that have been on here, and you know, there's just no need for that. So, the commenter in question, who somehow knows more about this guitar, having only watched a video on YouTube, than I know about it, holding it in my hands, wanted us to know that the fretboard is made to look like ebony. It's a composite of wood, paper, carbon fibers, etc., all compressed and reinforced with polymers. Today, what we consider exotic woods like mahogany and ebony are cheaply harvested and imported from Cameroon or South Africa. The top is most likely a veneer. Guitar costs anywhere from $30 to $60 for materials, construction, administration, shipping, and profit. It's a fine wall hanger. Well, I don't have wall hangers, meaning I literally don't have hangers on my walls. But this guitar has gotten played and will continue to get played. It's going to get used live. It's not going to be a display piece, but never mind. How this person knows so much about everything about this particular guitar is beyond me, but clearly he knows everything. Well, I didn't respond. I took the high road, but a couple of our loyal viewers did. And I can name them because kudos to them for standing up and making, you know, their points known. AK-47 Dragunov pointed out that what the other commenter described the fingerboard is not much different than Richlight, and Gibson sold axes equipped with fretboards like that in the thousands, which is true. Although I still stand by that I don't think this is artificial. I think it's wood. Especially when I was cleaning it, did a little light sanding and got sawdust off of it. Last I knew, polymers and wood scraps don't give off actual sawdust. I could be wrong. Anyway, the initial commenter went on to come back and talk some smack. And then the next person stepped up, which was Bertram Lafarge 69. Hello, Bertram. And pointed out that that was a cheap shot that the other guy made. And just talked a little bit about the Gibson, the build costs, and knowing that a lot of the Gibsons show up needing a setup and all this other stuff. And pointed out the fact that he, meaning me, probably has a fairly good idea of what I'm talking about, given the fact that I'm surrounded by guitars. I've been playing guitar for 36 years. I've worked as a guitar tech at a guitar shop. Been playing with bands since I was 15. I've owned over 600 guitars since 1987. And I'm not saying I'm an authority on anything, but he stepped up to the plate and pointed these things out. And then pointed out some other things about wood, and basically just defended me and defended the guitar a little bit. And the initial commenter came back and proceeded to insult Bertram. And you know, just take some cheap shots and talk some smack. So for all that, for you, our beloved mystery commenter who shall remain anonymous, I bestow upon you the coveted Eobat Award. So, congratulations. So, having said that, I don't have much else to say. I wanted this to be about 30 minutes, and hey, look at that. We're just over 30 minutes, so I timed this one well. Hopefully there'll be more news for me to share next week. It's all down to, you know, what goes on in the world, specifically the world of guitars, and maybe there'll be some interesting things. Meanwhile, be sure to do all the things that I've mentioned, you know, subscribe and like, and did I mention like earlier? If I didn't do, click the bell and tell people and share and comment. Come on, comment. Even if you're just going to be like our award winner and talk some smack, be my guest. Maybe you'll be an award winner in the future. And again, if you are subscribed, be sure to comment below which of these lovely Behringer pedals you'd be most interested in owning, should you be the lucky winner of the drawing. And yeah, congratulations to all of us here at the Guitar Nuts Anonymous community for having reached a new milestone. So until I speak to you next, stay cool, stay frosty, be good to yourself and others, even if they're rude commenters online. And what else am I going to say? Play the damn guitar, whichever guitar it is. Just play it. I'll be back in a few days. Till then, Steve out.